The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Remiss this morning if I didn't congratulate you on your team advancing to the World Series. The Yankees and the Dodgers will start things on Friday. So good for you. I'm happy for you.
I'm happy they finally made it back to the World Series. Should be a fun one. I think the Dodgers look pretty tough, but hopefully it'll be an entertaining series.
No, I think it will. I guess everybody got what they wanted. You know, Dodger-Yankee World Series.
I wouldn't say everybody.
Well, probably the Cleveland fans didn't want that.
I would guess
not.
not.
I don't know that any specific team fan wanted the Yankees and Dodgers to make it to the World Series unless they were, in fact, the Yankees or the Dodgers fans.
First time in 43 years that these two teams will play against each other. It goes back to the shortened season of 1981 that the Dodgers won. But it's kind of right up there. They were talking about this last night on the postgame show. You know, you look at Boston and the Lakers and the Yankees and the Dodgers. The Yankees and the Dodgers have played for the World Series title more than any other two teams. It's like 22 times. I mean, it's a absurd number. I think that may not be the exact number. I think it's for the Dodgers. This is their 22nd World Series. Maybe it's 11 times that the two teams have played. Anyway, it's a number of times. It's the most in World Series history. But yeah, it should be. It should be a fun series. It'll be, they get Shohei Ohtani, so they get all of Japan to be able to be engaged at an extremely high level. Maybe not all, but most of Japan, I think, is interested in Shohei Ohtani.
I would guess.
Yeah, it kind of seems that way. And then the Yankees seem to be kind of coming on. The Dodgers seem to be lacking in pitching. I mean, they again had to throw their bullpen day.
It's just really weird.
It is weird.
How much bullpens were used by both the Mets and the Dodgers and the Guardians in this series, and I think it was a huge factor in that the Yankees just saw those stud relievers of the Guardians so often. They just used them so much, and they didn't have any. I mean, it was a shock on Saturday night when they had a pitcher get into the sixth.
Yeah,
I wonder how much of that changes with Game 1 being not until Friday. That both of these two teams get a chance to get arms reset and get everybody's clock going.
There's no advantage for the Yankees finishing early or anything like that. I mean, I don't know, Jeff. They scheduled in this series against the Mets.
Yeah,
bullpen days, and this is the freaking NLCS.
Right, like twice they did.
Yeah,
and then they didn't really know what they were going to do tomorrow. Or I guess it would have been today. Last night they didn't. Well, they don't really know what's going to happen if the Mets win a Game 7. The Dodgers were really going to be in a tough spot, and for all the money that they have spent. I realize they've had some injuries, but because Clayton Kershaw he's not going to play in the World Series. He's done for the season, and it's not like he was really lighting it up for him anyway.
Yeah, and the moves that they made at the deadline. Yeah, but their bullpen is really good. So. And that's kind of the way baseball is now, Major League Baseball. That you don't put too much on starting pitching, and you use these bullpen guys one inning at a time. You put 3 or 4 of them together, and you just hope to get a lead through 5. But again, the Guardians and the Dodgers weren't even getting their starting pitchers through 5 very often.
Yeah. Well, the Dodger offense obviously is potent.
Gosh, yes.
They can swing the bat.
It's crazy. So there's 5 MVPs, right, in this game? There'll be 5 MVPs in this series.
Okay.
Right? 3 on the Yankee side and 2 on the
Dodgers.
2 on the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Does Freeman have an MVP?
I think he's got the World Series MVP. I don't think he's got a league MVP. I could be wrong on that.
That's just you can clearly tell these are 2 of the teams that spend the most money on their team.
Yeah, how long before somebody complains the Major League Baseball season's too long because we got what we wanted at the beginning, what we were going to get at the beginning of the year, with the Dodgers and the Yankees who spent.
Well, nobody was predicting the Yankees were making the World Series. Everybody was picking the Orioles to win the division, and nobody, when they got to the postseason, or hardly anybody, was picking the Yankees to get to the World Series. So this is not This is not one of those NFL things or NBA things. Maybe that's the way to go with it. NBA things where at the beginning of the year you can pretty much predict who it's going to be.
The manufactured championship,
That is.
Yeah, not bad.
They were not picked by many.
Later today, if I don't get to it today, I might, because it's evergreen. I've got I think a fascinating tidbit on the Dodgers.
Okay.
We should say that
really
for Tuesday at 8:30.
They're really good. They're loaded.
That's sarcasm there from the peanut gallery. If you have a thought, comment this morning, hit us up on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Many of you have already. You can go to the Double T 97.3 mobile app. It's presented by Happy State Bank. Good morning drive. Well, good morning to you, too. Are there any former Lubbock resident quarterbacks playing at Texas Tech? Sawyer Robertson and Maverick McIver looked pretty good. I don't believe there's any former homegrown Lubbock residents playing, unless you want to count Alan Bowman, but he wasn't homegrown. But, I mean, they tried to come back. Oklahoma State did against BYU. Well, they tried to win. I mean, they were ahead, and BYU comes back and beats them on Friday night.
They tried to win.
They tried to win. Yeah,
they
tried to win.
Interesting.
They tried to win. Yes.
They're
all trying to win.
I might throw Donovan Smith into that other mix that you were talking about. Are there any? But he's not on our schedule this year.
He's not. And
unless we meet in the Big 12 championship game somehow.
I think they've been eliminated.
I don't know, man. In this conference, you just never know.
From here, it's possible, is what you're saying? Oh, goodness. So if you have a thought, here we go. Go ahead.
It's just, I know that every one of the Red Raider fans on the chat line, I mean, more times than not, the people who are going to text the chat line are frustrated and disappointed people, not the ones that are like, I'm okay with it. It's no big deal.
Nobody had a good time Saturday night.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, I don't think we were homers to think, man, this is we got a shot here.
Right.
I don't think we were homering it up to think
it felt different.
Man, we got this could work out. This conference doesn't look unbeatable.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we're really playing well right now. It felt like we had a shot, and it was fun. It was fun to have those conversations and to feel like we were legitimately in the mix. And man, did you just get kicked right in the gut.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't think there's somebody on here said a minute ago, I don't know if we're going to win another game. I would guess that we will, but I don't look at any of them right now and go, yeah, that's in the bank.
Check that off.
Yeah. I mean, it's so crazy how we've flipped so much. I mean, I guess it's on us for fans of believing too strong or going the opposite way. But, I mean, the team's been Jekyll and Hyde, too.
6:40 this morning.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Time for this day in sports history. Today is October the 21st, 2024. Here's Jeff McGuire.
Before I get started today, I do need to thank one of our listeners.
Okay.
Sent me an email over the weekend about a future thing that we can talk about, to point me in a direction to look into a specific game for Tech, and I appreciated that heads up. It was way before my time, so that heads up is greatly appreciated.
Oh, that's very nice
of
them.
That's very nice for people to contribute to the cause here.
But we're going to start today in 1964, Major League Baseball, with the Milwaukee Braves asking the National League to allow them to move to Atlanta, Georgia.
That'd be granted.
1973, Baseball World Series, defending champion Oakland A's beat the New York Mets 5-2 in Game 7 in Oakland to retain the title. Dick Williams immediately quits.
Yes.
And A's outfielder Reggie Jackson is your MVP.
He just couldn't get along with Charlie Finley.
Going to 1989, James Gray rushes for 4 touchdowns and 227 yards in one of his 5 200-yard games of the season as Tech beats Rice 41-25.
That's crazy. 5 200-yard outings in a season.
1998 Baseball World Series, Yankees beat the San Diego Padres, that's right, 3-0 in Game 4. Sweep the Padres to win their second title in 3 years. Hey, Jamie, who was the MVP?
Which one? The Padres?
98, yes.
I don't know. Was it Jeter?
Scott Brocious.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I don't know. That was a long time ago.
You're allowed to have.
I do not remember Scott Brocious winning the World Series MVP.
You're allowed to have a good week, I guess. Huh?
You're allowed to have a good week. Hey, Jermaine Dye has a World Series MVP, okay?
Sure.
And most people don't even know who that is. And in 2009, in the National League Championship, the Philadelphia Phillies beat the Los Angeles Dodgers 4-1. Happy Apple Day.
Okay, just Apple.
Just Apple.
Okay.
Any type you like, go get one. Something really cool is going on with birthdays today. For starters, former Red Raider football player Jordan Brooks celebrating his 27th birthday today, so happy birthday to him.
Cool.
And I don't know what algorithm the website that I use for famous people, how they determine how famous you are. Jordan Brooks, most famous football player, born on this day, according to them now.
Huh.
That's cool.
Now, I don't know what all goes into their shenanigans.
Right.
Some of it I completely disagree with, but for them, Jordan Brooks, most famous football player today. Kim Kardashian, 44. Glenn Powell, 36. Judge Judy, 82. Ricky Rubio, 34. George Bell, 65. Zach Greinke, 41. And Joey Harrington is 46. And we've talked about this before, really a few times. But old stuff that still works is impressive. Mm-hmm. And really old stuff that works is really impressive. 1797. After 2 unsuccessful attempts, the USS Constitution is launched into the Boston Harbor. The 44-gun U.S. frigate was built to fight Barbary pirates, that's a hard word to say, off the coast of Tripoli. Still in service today, she served in the War of 1812. She won her nickname Old Ironsides in that, which we have discussed before. Mm-hmm. And since 1934, she's been at the Charleston Navy Yard in Boston. Over the years, Old Ironsides has enjoyed a number of restorations. The most recent one was completed in 1997, allowing it to sail for the first time in 116 years. Today, the Constitution is one of the world's oldest commissioned warships afloat. And that is This Day in Sports History.
All right, time for our lucky local winning word. Going to throw you a curveball today with regard to this word, okay? The theme changes, Jamie. Double T 97.3 in the home zone have teamed up to give away a total of $10,000. We're giving away $250 at a time until we get to Thursday, December the 5th, and we'll give away $2,500 that night at 2 docks. So your chance to win, really what you have to do is just go to doublet973.com. Log on there, and then you could win $250 on Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. It's all from Double T 97.3 and the Home Zone, making your house a home. Okay? We've been giving you team nicknames, all right? The subject matter shifts starting today, okay? The word is beet. Beet. Not the vegetable or fruit or whatever it is, beet, B-E-E-T. This is B-E-A-T, beet. Like as the Baylor Bears beat down, but just beat. You can just put beat. You don't have to put beat up or beat down or thoroughly beat or thrashly beat. Anything
beat up.
Beat up, just beet. B-E-A-T is your lucky local winning word here at 6:45 this morning. It's a little change of pace. Okay? Change of pace. Beat is your lucky local winning word. Let's see here. Here's some sarcasm from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Chuck still works. That's really, in all caps, impressive. Huh.
It's kind of funny.
I wouldn't call Chuck really old.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
He wasn't born in the 1700s like the USS Constitution was.
No.
Yeah.
I see TCU opened as a 4-point favorite against Texas Tech. It's now 6 points. Confidence level this week for Texas Tech. Oh, that's a great question. Early confidence level.
Well, you stole Chuck's favorite question.
That's okay.
I'm going to go 5.1.
Percent?
On a scale of 10?
Oh, on a scale of 10. Okay. Okay. It's like, I didn't know if we were doing scale of 10. Okay, I was going to say 50%, so I'll say 5 then. You're at 5.1. I'm at 5.
6.
6. All right. 6. Oh, man.
TCU did not look great in their road win at Utah. What in the world with Utah?
Well, and in Utah's offensive coordinator, Andy Ludwig, has resigned. He did that yesterday, so he's out.
Yeah, I'm sure he was talked into resigning.
Right, yeah. This is what's best for the team here, Coach.
Yeah.
You have 2 choices. None of them are good for you.
Seth Luttrell, who was in year 1 of being the offensive coordinator for the Oklahoma Sooners, didn't make it to the end of October, and he's out.
That was... Eesh.
Yeah, that was not good. Sooner and Lubbock participated in the Double T 97.3 Coors Light postgame show on Saturday, and I probably too quickly reminded him of his team's loss, and he said he would see me this morning. You'll hear from me this morning. Okay. I'm sure that we will. Also, the East Carolina coach is out, and the Southern Miss coach has been dismissed. So the firings have begun in college football. So
Were those head coaches out there or assistants?
The East Carolina was the head coach, and Southern Misses was the head coach, and then Seth Luttrell and Utah were the offensive coordinators.
OCs,
yeah, they were out. Let's see here.
Did I see the Iowa coach got fired too?
No.
There was some like Hawkeye logo thing that I was trying to figure out on somebody's shirt.
No way
as I was
firing that guy in the middle of a season.
Yeah.
No way. I mean, he'd have to have beaten somebody or
somebody says this
or
typical
said a bad word.
typical Tech. Here we go. Marquise, what should we expect after the 2 weeks off Tech had?
I don't normally buy into the whole typical Tech thing, but like those of you that do, it feels like this would probably be one that you would speak to.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're 3-0, they're 0-3. I don't know. We just felt like we had really were putting together good things, and it doesn't mean that you can't turn it right back around. Doesn't mean that you can't, but man, you got to bring it a whole lot more than you did this past Saturday.
Yeah.
In every way, shape, or form.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
High school fan zone on the air for you tonight at 7 on 100.7 The Score. Coaches from Coronado and Estacado, they should both be in good moods. Both their teams won on Friday night, so that will be from 7 to 8. Cowboy Hour tonight from 6 to 7. Brad Sham should be in a good mood because Cowboys didn't lose over the weekend.
Okay.
Okay, just a reasonably good mood.
Okay.
So that'll be from 6 to 7 tonight. This from Big Hen. I think this is a guy. Chuck, it was nice to meet you at the Overton Saturday night. Still upset you gave my friend a Coors Light hat and not me, but I understand she's pretty and I'm not. Also got to meet Jeff and save him from my friend who was having a little too good a time. Yeah.
he was over-ordered.
He was over-ordered. Yeah. Jeff,
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. That was kind of you to...
Good dude. And
Why am I thanking Jeff?
Because Jeff talked to somebody and he got to meet somebody else, and that saved him from this guy who was...
That's not why he's thanking me.
Why?
He wasn't overserved.
He said the term that I like much better than the term that you use.
Yeah, well, I didn't use it, so yeah.
No.
But you do.
I have.
You do.
I have before.
And
yeah.
he's not the only one.
Yeah.
This is not a Chuck unique thing.
Yeah, I didn't make up that word. Yeah.
But to give credit to his friend, while yes, he was over-ordered, he was fine. He was just a frustrated Tech fan like a lot of us were then.
Yeah, there's a lot of frustrated Tech fans.
Sure.
Somebody asked us, where is our super receiver? How much did he play Saturday? He played a little bit, but I mean, again, as Jamie just said, you got two guys in front of him that, are playing outstanding.
I thought Caleb Douglas and Josh Kelly played the whole game, and both of them played great. They're our super receivers.
Yeah. I agree. I agree completely.
They were both great.
Yeah. I mean,
they were the best two players on the field for the Red Raiders, as far as I'm concerned.
They didn't drop anything.
Those are our super receivers.
Yeah.
And if you're wondering why Micah Hudson doesn't play more, because he plays behind those two.
Right. Yes, that's exactly right.
And they're good.
And they're good. they're good.
Really good.
I don't agree with this. If you don't play Micah, he's gone after the season. It may be hard to get whoever ponied up the 7 figures to do that again. Probably to Oklahoma State, TCU, or Houston. Okay, well.
Right, so we're giving him all that money. Adidas and Mahomes are giving him all that money, and he's still not going to stick around?
He's going to stick around.
Be gone.
Yeah.
If that's the case, be gone. What else do we have to do?
You don't think that's the case, though, right?
I don't think he's leaving. No,
I don't
think he's. I don't think so at all.
I don't think so either.
Yeah,
I don't disagree with you that if all of those, if he still leaves, then be gone. But none of us think that's going to happen.
Yeah,
the only people who think that it's going to happen are on the internet, and they're not anywhere related to Micah Hudson.
Well, I don't think it's crazy talk when you know the athletes of today. Right?
And when you've seen this happen time and time again at other places, and even at your place too.
Yes, when kids aren't happy, they bail and go somewhere else. But you are giving him a lot of reasons to stay here. And from everything that I've been told, he is a guy that's all in and is not. He's got a great attitude and is a team guy, and he is not one that's unhappy and is grumbling and all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's not what you hear at all.
Yeah.
Our defense was bad, but did enough to win this game. We will not win many games against actual Big 12 beat teams without an offense that can't put up points. Baylor put relentless pressure on our defense, and they finally broke after realizing our offense wasn't going to be able to keep up. Your defense got gashed. 255 yards rushing, 276 yards passing.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't sit here and say with an honest face that the defense did enough to win this game.
I cannot say that at all.
Yeah. I think Saturday was a total team effort in terms of the loss. So people ask about Dre McCray. Yeah, he did not have a good game on Saturday night.
Well, and this is where I just asked you this question a minute ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In a commercial break, so we need to do it here. Dre McCray is not giving you a lot as a receiver. He had a really rough day as a return man on Saturday too, but he's not giving you a lot as a receiver. I think the Cincinnati game, he had a pretty good game, but that was really the only one. Can you not turn Micah Hudson into a slot receiver to get the best athletes on the field? Can you not do that? I mean, Micah Hudson looks like a special talent. He's going to get better with more reps, even if he's struggling with some certain things now and the playbook's difficult for him, whatever. I don't know. It feels like you could find more packages if you put him in and teach him to be a slot receiver until next year when Josh Kelly has graduated, and then you can get him back to his normal outside spot. I mean, if you're talking about getting the best athletes on the field and the best players on the field, that's where my Michael Hudson question comes in. I don't think he's better right now than Josh Kelly or Caleb Douglas.
Okay. So,
or Coy Aiken. Okay. He's maybe more explosive, all those things, but he's not as consistent as those guys. But could you find some ways to get him in the slot receiver position? That's what I would question.
The two questions I have about that are this: one is he big enough, or does he have enough?
Is he big enough to play slot receiver? He's Dre McCray's a little person.
Well, I understand.
Eric Morris played slot receiver.
Well, but
Wes Welker.
I guess my question is he thick enough? Because he doesn't seem to be a very thick guy when I've seen him up close and personal. And I just wonder, is he healthy enough? Or do they want somebody to take a shot at that knee? But then I may be completely.
Well, if he's playing at all, he's healthy enough. I mean,
okay.
Can you not get tackled at your knee in a blowout?
Yes, you sure can.
His knee looked good on that catch down the sideline.
Okay, well, you asked me a question and I answered it, and I responded, and maybe I'm just dumb. I don't know. I just felt like I just wonder if he's, and then the other question is, is he capable from a knowing the playbook enough to be able to play that position.
Yeah,
And I think that's the fairest question of all.
It seems like the stories or the rumors are the mental side of his game is not up to par, and that's what's keeping him off the field.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe he is not your starter at slot receiver. I don't know, but you put some plays in there that clearly he can figure out, right? That this is what we're going to do in these situations, and you find a way to get him on the field and get the ball in his hands because he is that kind of talent.
Yeah.
Okay? It's not playing in place of Josh Kelly and Caleb Douglas.
No, not at this point.
But I don't know. And that's what they're doing a little bit, right? Because clearly he's getting in there. He's not just getting in mop-up time. He's getting in there. We just need him to – I think he needs to get in more.
But when you're trying to win a ball game, it's hard to –
Again, if he can give you a better chance to make a play than Dre McCray, teach him to play slot receiver.
Okay, maybe he just doesn't have the capability of learning how to do that, Jamie. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Oh my God, Chuck, he was a star receiver, number 4 receiver in the entire nation. What are you talking about? Okay, well, I'm just talking about, can he play a different position? I asked that question. So, I mean, if you think I'm stupid, then so be it. I'm stupid.
Well, I mean, if it's true that he's had a hard time learning the playbook, maybe it's going to be difficult for him to try to learn a playbook of another position.
Yeah.
That's a fair question.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is, yeah. Let's see here. I hadn't listened earlier. Y'all felt it was a good idea to keep your starters in the game when clearly Tech was not coming back to win. They pulled Taj Brooks. I would have pulled Baron Morton in the fourth quarter. I wouldn't have played him in the fourth quarter. Game was over. With 12 minutes to go in the game was over. I would have pulled Baron because you need him healthy down the stretch. But that's just me. I understand the coach not wanting to show his players that he was giving up, but on the other side of that, you've got to protect. You got to protect your star players. They protected Taj Brooks. I think they should have protected Baron Morton.
I mean, your quarterback, it feels like, is more likely to get hurt than your running back, but maybe I'm wrong there.
Especially when he was getting hit there at the end.
I didn't have a problem how they handled it. I wouldn't have had a problem if they took him out either. Either way, I'm fine with it.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3. Presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
Okay. We're just gonna rip the Band-Aid off.
Okay.
All morning long I've been trying to come up with a different question, but
it's the same one sticking in your head.
It's just I'm not coming up with anything better.
Okay.
So I want you to tell me Texas Tech's record at the end of the season.
Oh, here we go. Okay, so let's see. I think I started at 9-3. I think I went to 6-6. Then I think I went to 8-4. Then to 9-3. I'm gonna see. You've lost 2 now. You got 3 road games left. At TCU this week, at Iowa State, and then at Oklahoma State. I'm gonna drop you down to 8-4. And I'll say you win this week. And then your 2 losses are going to be at Iowa State and home to Colorado. I'm gonna flip on that. I'm going to say you're going to win at Oklahoma State
and West Virginia.
And West Virginia at home. I think you can beat them. I think you can outscore them. I don't think you can outscore Colorado right now. Not today.
I started 8-4. Through all the beginnings, I stayed at 8-4. After Arizona, I was like, okay, well, hello 9-3, because I've had Arizona as a loss. I had Baylor as a win. I also looked at your schedule last week and said I wouldn't be shocked at 5-1 if you finished the season that way. This was not the one I thought you would have, is the one. At 9-3. I'm staying at 9-3.
Wow.
Joey McGuire is 7-4 after a loss as a head coach at Texas Tech. We've also every year seen one game that's just the head scratcher of, what did we just see here?
We've had 2 of those. We've had 3 of those, actually.
You were learning early. You get one of these games late, and I think this is what that game was. And dang it, I have to look for something positive in football. So I'm going to have it be the Red Raiders this year, 9-3.
Which you had the Washington State game as a head scratcher too?
Yeah.
I wouldn't call that. I wouldn't go put that one as a head scratcher. I definitely have ACU and Baylor as head scratchers.
Well.
Washington State was like you didn't have Taj,
Okay.
and you haven't been good on the road, and that was just kind of what we've seen in that regard. So, I think I'm 7-5. I think you will win this weekend. I think. And I think probably West Virginia gets your 7th win.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so just to set the record straight here, after the near loss to Abilene Christian, I was at 7-5, Jamie 6-6, Jeff 8-4, and then after the week of September the 16th, so this is after you come back and win. I moved to 8-4. Jamie moved to 7-5. Jeff stayed at 8-4. The first of the month, I stayed at 8-4. Jamie stayed at 7-5. Jeff stayed at 8-4. And then after the Arizona win, Jamie and I went to 9-3, and Jeff went to 10-2. So we've backed off a little bit as the season is kind of the roller coaster's gone on.
So if I'm looking at it, okay, we wouldn't call ACU a quality win, right?
No.
We wouldn't call North Texas a quality win, although you played a really quality game. Both sides of the football
Yes,
you played really well.
I'd agree with that.
But it's not. North Texas is not good.
You're not writing home to mom about that one.
Yeah. Cincinnati and Arizona State, I think both those wins were good. I think both those teams are good. I mean, Arizona State dropped to 2-2 this week with a loss to Cincinnati, but that was on the road without their starting quarterback. So I still think those are 2 good wins. I mean, I've come to the point where I don't think the Arizona win was that good. At least it was on the road, so it's something, okay? But that team
And you had to come back, too.
That team does not look good at all. Mm-hmm. Yes, you had to come back, but really you were complete control of that football game. And then you kind of laid an egg for a quarter, and then you came back.
Pat, if it weren't for the third quarter, you'd probably feel differently about a lot of aspects of that game.
Yeah. So I don't think the team forgot how to play. Mm-hmm. I told you I didn't think the bye was coming at a good time for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, turned out to be right about that.
Well, I don't know if that's what the factor was, but you just didn't look like you came in with a lot of fire.
No.
And Baylor looked like they wanted this game bad. It looked like their coaching staff wanted it bad, and it looked like their players wanted it bad. And
I'm sure we wanted it bad. We just didn't play like we wanted it bad.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good way to say that.
I'm sure that we wanted it bad. I'm sure every one of them walked into that locker room and go, I want to win today. But then when it got out on the field and you had to put your hand in the dirt and had to beat somebody up, or when you got hit in the mouth, you just didn't respond.
Yeah, and it didn't look like you had any fight in you. But those things happen. So I don't think you've forgotten how to play football just in 1 week. Mm-hmm. I hate to be so reactional like I have been this year because I feel like I've been all over the place. Bit of a mess, but I still think you're good enough to win it at TCU. I'm really scared about the next 2. I think Oklahoma State's a possibility, and I think playing at home against West Virginia, who I think is okay. They looked. I surely thought they were going to give Kansas State a better fight.
Yes,
and that game being at home, so I wouldn't be shocked if you got to 8-4. I would be surprised if you got past 8-4.
Mm-hmm. Although with how Iowa State played this weekend at home, I mean, you could make a case that if you played I'm not even sure you have to play your best. I mean, Iowa State won 38-35 over UCF.
It feels like a little bit of a hiccup game for Iowa State. Maybe they,
Maybe so.
I still think they're a really good team.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're not. I'm not saying they're not. I just don't see anybody that's just next level where you just don't have a chance going into the ball game. Mm-hmm. But you're going to have to play a hell of a lot better than what you did Saturday. Exponentially.
You play Saturday to make the Dallas Cowboys look good.
You play like you did Saturday, and you're not going to a bowl game.
That's right. You may not win another game if you play like that, like you did on Saturday.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Thank you for being with us. Hour 2 of 3 on Lubbock Sports Station, Double T 97.3 with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. Come to you this morning from the First United Bank studio. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. We've had a number of them this morning, as you would imagine. Also, the Visual Edge IT hotline is open at 806-771-0973. An hour from now, it's the end of the bench, and you'll get their take on things. And then bottom line at high noon today and Tech Talk this afternoon. End of the bench and bottom line on 100.7 The Score. And, of course, Tech Talk here on Double T 97.3. Cowboy Cody weighs in, Jamie. He says, when you muff a kickoff, allow a punt return, touchdown, well, it was to the half-yard line, shank a punt, throw an interception, allow long, easy touchdown run plays, never pressure their quarterback, and don't force any turnovers, it'll be a train wreck. Yeah, it wasn't in all that order, but yeah, all those things happened, you know. You're right. It'll be a train wreck, and you can't win football games doing all that kind of stuff. It almost made me wonder, because you darn near muffed a second one of those little squibbers along the ground. It almost made me wonder, why aren't they doing that all the time?
Yeah, it might be something we see more of.
Yeah, because we couldn't field the ball, and then fielding the ball in the middle of the end zone and running it out, that's never good. Just take your knee and take the ball to 25. I mean, just especially when you're already not playing well.
Well, I mean, you got to field it before you can take the knee.
No, I know, but I mean, the one that he did, he fielded it in the middle of the end zone, and then it made the decision to run out.
Yeah, poor decision there.
Yeah, it was a bad decision. But there's a lot of bad. One of the things I wrote down for this morning last night when I was thinking about today's program, I had this.
Was it, boy, this is going to be fun.
He was definitely not quoting his favorite movie.
Don't I have a root canal scheduled instead?
Right. Mm-hmm. The question that I have is, what does this mean? What does this loss mean? I mean, I know that it means that it makes it a lot more difficult to get to the...
Means that you can stop worrying about if we're ranked or not.
Yeah, sure.
Means you can stop the conversation about going to playing the Big 12 championship game or getting to a college football playoff. I think you can. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can stop that. Coach McGuire said they still have everything in front of them, and it's absolutely possible. Mm-hmm. But it is very unlikely at this point.
Sure seems like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because...
So the goal, in my opinion, the what you're playing for has changed. You still have plenty to play for. Okay? Mm-hmm. Pride being first and foremost, but improve your lie and get a better bowl game and all that good stuff, or just because you want to win football games, and you want to beat the team and that's lined up across from you. But I think the fan focus has got to change, right? Yeah, I mean, we're not sitting around now going, it's still a chance. You can still do this. Mm-hmm. It's very, very unlikely.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what it sure seems that way. Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure does. I mean, and now all of a sudden you start to, especially because TCU's coming off of a win. I realized they didn't score very much, but they also held Utah to just a touchdown. And you're playing at their place. Not that it's any den of demons, but you're going on the road again. You're coming off of just an absolute thud loss where you showed little to no emotion. I mean, let's face it, little to no emotion. I didn't even see anybody getting mad, on the sideline. Now, I didn't have my binoculars on the sideline the whole time, but, aside from, I mean, I don't know that anybody, I mean, I think they had obviously several huddle ups with, the whole team. I'm sure the coaches were trying to get after him, trying to fire him up at all. But I mean, I just didn't see anybody that just played with any enthusiasm. And it's really disappointing.
Man, it felt like, you get the 3 and out to start the second half.
Mm-hmm.
And you go down and score and make it a 3-point game, and it felt like there was enthusiasm there. Like it was, okay, here we go. We can do this.
Mm-hmm.
And then your defense just continued to suck the enthusiasm out. Coach McGuire said execution took away the energy.
Yeah.
And I think your defensive execution there just sucked it away.
Yeah. He was.
I want to talk about teams, or the offense and defense playing together and playing complementary football and all that good stuff. Nobody was complimenting anybody then here in this one.
Mm-hmm. Well, he really felt like that it should have just been a 3-point game at the half.
Yeah, so I mean, it was really 2 out of 3 possessions. It just looked simple.
Yeah.
It looked easy for Baylor.
Yeah, I mean,
you did get the 1 3 and out right to start the half, but
I mean, they start the
drive that you cut it to 3 before halftime, and then they march right down the field.
Right down the
scored.
field. Yep, 75 yards.
That was a kick to the gut.
It was. It was. I mean,
but you felt like, man, you came back from it well. With it, you come out and you get the 3 and out, and then you march down the field and you score. And now this is a game, and I thought at that point Tech was going to win.
When it was 24-21. After the first drive of your first drive of the third quarter, and then they come right back, and they respond and they score, and then Barron's intercepted, and then before you know it, 2 plays later, it's 38-21, and then at that point in time, you're like, probably not feeling very good. Like you're not going to win the ball game. Now you're down basically 3 possessions,
especially after the defense. I mean, it just looked simple for Baylor there.
Yes,
looked easy.
It did. It did. It looked like they're just running through.
You had no answers in the secondary. Mm-hmm. You got manhandled up front. Your linebackers were just, non-existent. There was just nothing. I mean, again, it felt like coaching-wise that they were a step ahead of you. Like their offensive game plan just annihilated your defensive game plan. It looked like you were not. You were guessing pass when they were running, and you were guessing run when they were passing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even when Baylor after you're forced to punt, this is the start of the fourth quarter. They go right down the field, 5 plays and 86 yards. They started with their own 14.
If you're talking about anything in the fourth quarter, the game was over.
Well, no, my point was right after they'd scored and went up 38-21. And then you went right out, and then at least you pinned them down a little bit, but then they went boom, and then the floodgates opened and everybody left.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.